Hey guys, it's Mr. Lalamandir again. Today we're going to work with portraits. And portrait for some of the younger guys, that's just a picture of someone, usually their face, and a lot of times either from the chest up, which is called a bust, or the whole body. But it's usually a picture of somebody that the artist is concentrating on itself. So that person is the whole focus of the picture. Okay, so it wouldn't just be a drawing of some people way off in the distance. A portrait means you're focusing right on that person. Okay, so what we're going to do in our portraits, I'm going to take you through the very basics. I go a lot more in depth with this in my classroom with second grade students a lot of times, but I'm going to go through the very basic elements of it and let you guys go off on your own with your portraits. And what we're going to do is kind of in the classical style of portrait drawing. So I'm going to show you ways to measure that face off. And then I can't wait to see what you guys make. So in portrait drawing, I'm going to work a lot bigger than what a real person's head would look like. Okay, I'm going to work bigger than it would usually look like in real life. Okay, so what I'm going to do is start with an oval. Oval or circle. And it doesn't have to be the world's greatest oval or circle, but since it is the most important part of the picture, I want to make it nice and big. I don't want it tiny. Okay. Now I'm going to divide this head up into sections, which is going to sound weird, but if I was doing this with pencil, I could then erase some of these lines later on. Okay, so keep that in mind. This is just to lay the picture out for us to just do a practice drawing. Okay, so what I want to imagine is that I've divided my head in half this way. Okay, so go ahead if you want to draw that line down the middle. That guy right there. Because a face is symmetrical, you're going to have the same amount of stuff on the left as you are on the right. Okay? Then I'm also going to divide my head in half this way, approximately half. You don't have to measure it. Okay? Now, the reason I'm doing that is because of where the eyes need to be. That's actually called the eye line. Your eyes are not way high on the head like some people do in other kinds of drawing, like cartoon drawings. If you look at mine, and since I'm missing hair, you can really see this. My eyes are not up here. They're actually halfway down my head. Okay? Now, the next part will be the nose line. And the nose line is halfway between the eye and the chin. And then I'll have a mouth line halfway between the nose line and the chin. Okay, it's kind of hard to see. I wonder if you can see those. Okay, so you got eye line, nose line, and mouth line. Okay, does that make sense? So I've divided my head up into sections. I'm going to leave that there. Okay. If you're using something like typing paper, you could do this even better because you'd be able to see through it. Just make sure this bottom layer is exactly where it needs to be, and it's dark. You want it really dark. So like purples, blacks, blues, stuff like that. I'm going to lay this other sheet on top of it, and you probably can't see it, but I can see the shape underneath it. All I'm going to do is outline over where that head is, okay? See, I still got my head planned out there. And I can see through to know where to put my other parts. So now when I put in the eyes, nose, and mouth, and you can draw them however you want. If you've seen my cartoon faces, you can get some good ideas for eyes there. I like to sometimes do them like footballs. I got 1, 2, 3 shapes. Okay, so I have a dot for the pupil, a circle for the iris, And then these two lines of the eyelid help to draw what is called the sclera, the white part of the eye. We're not looking for perfect, we're looking for practice, okay? I can see where my nose line is. I can barely make it out. And again, you could do whatever nose you want to do. I just want the tip of whatever that nose is to be resting on the nose line, okay? The tip of it. You could have lines going up and over to your eyebrow line if you want, or you could have one of those silly cartoon noses if you want it. I can see my mouth line coming through the paper. And that mouth line divides the lower lip and the top lip, okay? So I'll put a little line in here. And I'll put my bottom lip in. See my bottom lip? Now, there's a dip under your nose, this thing right here. It's one of my favorite words in the world. It's called a philtrum. Isn't that awesome? A little dip. It's called the philtrum. So we put a little dip above my mouth line, and then put a line to here and a line to here. Again, I've done some traditional drawings of the different parts of the face. You could use some of those cartoon shapes. Your nose, you could draw that nose however you want it, the eyes however you want, the mouth however you want, as long as you've planned out with that piece that's underneath, they'll all be in the right spot, okay? And if you're gonna stick ears in, if you're going kind of realistic with your ears, the actual height of an ear is from the eyebrow line to the tip of the nose, or basically the top of the eyes to the tip of the nose, okay? So I'm just gonna put in an oval that does that. All right? And then I want the neck, I don't want to put the neck in too skinny. A little hint, if you wanted to know, where this mouth line touches the edge of the paper is kind of how wide, where it touches the edge of the head, it's kind of how wide you want your neck to be. And then I put in a curved line and 2 lines for maybe the shoulders. Now hair, instead of drawing each individual hair one at a time, you just draw the basic hair do, okay? So if you're a girl, you might have bangs. A boy, you could do whatever you want for your hair. You can get silly if you want to. Let's say I'm doing a girl, she's got some bangs. See how I did that with a zigzag line? And then I would put in a line that goes over the head, and then I color that in. Now, I could go over the ears to make it look like the hair is covering the ears, or I could go behind the ears like I am right now with my coloring. Okay, so I'm keeping it kind of simple, but all I want to really show you, because you don't have to have yours as detailed as this. You can get kind of silly with it with your cartoon kind of drawing. If you need to stop, if you're trying to do it the way I've done the face, if you need to stop it at the video and pause every once in a while to do that, that would be cool. The biggest trick was showing you this, okay? That circle, dividing the head in half that way, divide the head in half that way, and then your nose and mouth line. If you put that underneath whatever you're drawing the face, you're going to have all of the parts in the right place, and they're going to be perfect that way. That's kind of dealing with a word called proportion. And so that's my sort of little helpful hints and tricks to drawing a face to get the parts and pieces in the right spot. Can't wait to see yours.